Ever since I was a little girl, I had always dreamed of just being a mom.
Man, from day one, Raylene and I have wanted to have kids. It's always been a dream of ours. We would talk about it sometimes for hours, just like, what's it gonna be like? And are we gonna have a boy or a girl? What are we gonna name them? You know, all that kind of stuff.
We were finally ready to start our family, and after a year of trying, we realized something was wrong.
I got a phone call from my doctor, and he informed me that I had a 0.01% chance of ever having kids.
I just dropped to the floor and just cried. I couldn't believe that was gonna be our story. After that, we went through every fertility treatment and everything we could possibly do to be able to start our family, and yet it was still unsuccessful. I was so ready to adopt, but Ben really wasn't on board with adoption.
I just had a lot of friends that came into my life at that point, and they were like, man, we adopted. It was such an amazing thing. And I just began to hear all these positive affirmations, and I began to pray and say, God, if this is what you really want, I need you to show up in a big way and show me this is what you want me to do. And we did a lot of research, and we reached out to various adoption agencies, and we just became overwhelmed. 60,000, 80,000, could be 100,000. We were just like, man, how are we ever gonna afford this?
We realized that God was gonna have to do something huge. It wasn't until we were at a missions conference and a church provided everything that we needed for us to be able to step foot into our adoption process and be free of so much. We're planning a church in New Zealand, and we are on a tight schedule of going back, and to be able to do adoption in a time frame that's like unheard of. I mean, it could take 4 years, and we were like, we don't have that kind of time frame.
At that same time, a friend reached out to us and said, you know, we went through a consultant agency that got us matched within like 4 months of filling out all the paperwork. That it was gonna be $3,500.
We keep running into like, okay, we got it, and then it's an obstacle.
Right there in our living room, after we got off the phone call, we poured our hearts out to God and just said, God, if you want this to happen, we know that you can make it happen. And so we're asking for you to provide the $3,500. 2 hours later, we got a phone call from a friend. And they said, you know, God has put it on our heart to pay the entire $3,500 for you guys.
And it was just mind-blowing how much God just was continuing to open up doors for us.
So then we sat down with our consultants and we started talking numbers, and they said, all right, this is gonna cost somewhere between $30,000 to $50,000. God has taken every hill until this point. We believe that he'll take the next one. So we made a video and we put it out on Facebook for our friends and family to help us out. There was absolutely no way Raylene and I would have been able to do this on our own. It was like God saying, like, anything that you put before me, Ben, that's impossible, I can take care of. A few months later, we weren't even finished with the paperwork. And one morning we get a phone call from our consultants, and they say, all right, well, we have a child that's being born today in New Jersey, 5 centimeters dilated. If you say yes, you have to get on a plane now and go collect it. And we were like, what? So we said yes, and we got on a plane. The first time that I laid eyes on Ava, I just stared at her and I thought, what a hairy child.
I just remember looking at this beautiful baby girl and just thinking, wow, like it's finally happened, to finally put a face to the miracle that God was working.
I held her for the first time and I thought, you have no idea how much God loves you and how many people love you before they even met you. I can't wait one day to share with Ava how she came into our lives and how she became a walker.
And I want her to see God work this whole miracle and how much she can trust God, knowing what all He's already done ahead of her in her life.
guys are interested and say yes, this could be your baby.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Well, we want to say yes to this.
I'm a nanny. You're a mama. Little Ava, we're coming for you.
First floor.
Here's the team.
Got the payload. Oh. Someone smells ripe.
Are you serious?
Looks like Ava's up and about. Just wanting to look around.
Say hi to everybody.